it hasn't ever been the same. And I suppose losing Aisling, it put a lot of perspective on life, and football is probably the one thing we've held on to because of Aisling and because of her memory and how much she loved it and how good she was at it as well.
And she'd be given out to us if we didn't as well, so that probably helps as well.
Because we've been playing football together for so many years, it was just, I suppose, another stepping stone. Obviously, growing up, Crow Park would be your dream to play in, and you'd never take that away from anyone. But I think we just looking back, we kind of just going out onto the pitch, before the game. I think that's when it all hit.
We shared a room the night before Maynooth as well, and there was great camaraderie. It was good having the three of us been there. So yeah, there was great excitement because football has been such a big part of I suppose our family's life since we were knee-high grasshoppers we were playing.
It was
surreal feeling, and it nearly feels like the same thing watching it.
Yeah, it actually does. And I remember because everyone was coming in hugging you, it was something you've always
dreamt of
down through the years of watching men's football, and it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Looking back now, it's
kind of something you nearly forget that you've experienced that, but then you're kind of you get a few goosebumps watching that it's actually, this is real, this was us.
It's surreal really, because we haven't watched this in so long. The crowd.
Look at the crowd. There's Aisling leaning out over the edge.
Trish. She was always known, I suppose, in the house as the one that could kick with both feet very accurately. We were probably a bit jealous of it at the time, but I suppose Dad would have brought us out as, kids into the garden, and we'd be practicing with both feet and fisting the ball with both hands, and I suppose that's not something all families do, but we were so interested in it.
But yeah, she always kind of played a couple of years ahead of herself as well. Even in '98 when we won our first club county senior final, she was only 13 and she started wing back. So I suppose that was, she was kind of well able to mix it with anyone at that stage, so that's
she never had a fear, so she was, she'd get stuck in no matter what. She loved if you told her she was marking someone good, she'd be riled up for it, and stuff like that. Yeah. But I suppose it all came down to us just loving the game of football in the garden with the cousins. She was the life and the soul of our family,
Oh, she was gas.
She was the one she loved telling Mum and Dad stories about the night before, things you didn't want Mum and Dad to know, she would tell them. Just at the kitchen table in front of everyone, just to kind of make you go red. And she was always the one that was, playing jokes or, full of laughter. If you were ever in bad form, she was the one person that would cheer you up.
She had probably a better league campaign than any of us that year in particular. I think we were all a bit surprised that she didn't make the championship panel. She took it very badly in the beginning and then just kind of go, sure, look it, I still have Carnagun, and that was what kind of kept her going.
But it was very emotional for us.
It was very hard, it was very hard.
I remember, I'll never forget actually, the last time we were talking to her and we were heading off for the match and she was lying in her room on the bed. And she was always kind of smart comments and always kind of grinning and laughing and witty. And I remember her saying a smart comment and I was just meet me at the dressing room after, and she was just yeah, she's I'll think about it. And I was meet me, and she's oh yeah, I will, I'm only messing. And it was actually then, I remember leaving the dressing room early to go out and get her to come into the dressing room and she wasn't there. And I remember asking, I was has anyone seen Aisling? And I knew by the look, someone gave me, I was just what? And, that was, I suppose, the reality of it. Then we had heard that she had been in an accident on the way to the match, so she hadn't obviously made the match. But even, we were told at that time she was okay, that, it was just procedure and she was going to be brought to hospital, but to still go down to the hospital.
from day dot, it was one thing that Dad had said, we just have to keep talking about her. And it was just so natural, because she was that type of person you could start talking about her and be talking about her for forever, really.
Her honours and are displayed around all her homes, and it's like sometimes you go in and to even our home house, and her jersey, as you seen, was up, and there were her boots each side and her socks that she would have played in, and her gloves are there, and
her mobile
is there, and all of her All-Ireland medals, it's just memories like that. And even seeing her smile on her picture, and I suppose the last picture we have of her, even that jersey she's on her, we still have that. A couple of weeks after, it was only the 2 weeks after when we played, and obviously it was still raw, it was so raw, and everything was so emotional. If someone looked at you, you were tearing up, and we just didn't know. And then we kind of decided that we'd do it for her, that she wouldn't want us and not to play, and we said we'd give it a go and see how we got on.
She wouldn't want us to be sitting in the house on a Friday night or a Tuesday night and you should be training, and she'd be the very one that'd be kicking you out the door to go anyway. And I think that definitely probably drove us on. I suppose what was making it harder really was the fact that it was Galway again, and it was in the same venue, and so it was back to the scene of where we had came from 2 weeks prior. When we left the house, she was alive, and when we got back, she wasn't. So I suppose that was hard. But football, look, the girls were brilliant. They really were. She'd kill us now if she'd seen us like this.
I don't know if I could have, if I could do it now. Do you know, obviously we had a strength. She definitely, I believe that she gave us the strength to carry on that year.
Oh, totally, yeah.
I don't know how we got the strength to do what we did. It's just, I definitely believe that it was her, that was just carrying us through, and we believe that, and we still do, we believe that things happen now for a reason. Football, if we win or lose, if we lose a game, it had been the worst in the world before, whereas now it's we've been through the worst in the world, so
it's only football.
It's only football. And I suppose it gave us a different perspective on life in general, and on football. Even though football is what keeps us going, it keeps us connected to the people that was close to Aisling as well.
I don't really remember a whole lot about it. It was a pretty shocking game from listening to people talking about it afterwards. And I suppose we kind of nearly robbed. We probably robbed Dublin, in fairness, in a way. But I just remember Cora getting the free, or taking the free, and it landing. Diane, I don't know how she managed to get the ball into the net. And then kind of going, oh my God, we actually won this. And then going, oh my God, I don't even know how I feel about it right now. And I know I said that to you the last day, we didn't even go up the steps of Croke Park that particular year, whereas, the year before, obviously, there was huge excitement. It just wasn't, obviously, the same that year. The girls were, they were very conscious, I suppose, as well, and even in all of the celebrations afterwards, they would have always been going, come on, you're coming with us, come on, you're coming with us, because I suppose if we had half a chance, we'd probably have not gone, so they were very good for kind of dragging us along and kind of going, no, you're coming, I'm collecting you, you're coming, and I suppose we're very lucky that way. I suppose that's sport. It kind of brings that. I suppose team sports are that's probably one of the massive advantages of them, and having that support around you. So it definitely helped us. Absolutely helped us, yeah.
You can't, if you knew her, you'd only have to meet her for 5 minutes to realise how special she was, and it's hard now because It's hard for, I suppose, Sean and Connor because they've never met their Auntie Ash, and with Kobe Ray now, my young lad, you know, he'll never meet uncle or, you know, his Auntie Ash. She'll be someone that, you know, our hearts will be always broken because she's not around, but, you know, she'll always be our sister, and we're lucky to have her.